Every semester, my life shrinks down to a single letter. A letter that compares me to hundreds of other students. A letter that decides whether I'm good enough for the career I want. And the more I chase that letter, the less I actually seem to learn. I am striving to attend a professional school post-grad. However, these schools often come with laughably low acceptance rates and high GPA requirements, making it seem as if one poor exam score can determine my entire future. But I'm not alone. At the University of Michigan, academic pressure is practically a culture. With its highly competitive atmosphere, students are constantly under high levels of stress and derive their entire self-worth from one number, the GPA. For students aiming for competitive graduate programs like I am, GPA isn't just a number, it's a gatekeeper. But what if it wasn't this way? What if you could focus on reaching true understanding rather on raising your GPA? I've interviewed a few of my classmates from different schools at the University of Michigan about their academic stress experience, and this is what they had to say.
So how does the competitive environment of Ross and knowing that grades are curved influence how you typically study or participate in your classes?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely makes you more strategic. Not only do you have to understand the concepts of what you're learning, but also how do you stand out, through connections, internships, exam or project performance. And I feel like it really takes away from the actual learning aspect of being in the school business.
How important would you say GPA is for internships, jobs, or opportunities in sports management?
I'd say GPA is really important because a lot of the people you're competing against have really high GPAs or a lot of internship opportunities already. And since it's such a competitive field, you really need to get as many internships now while you can for future success.
So you would say GPA is a deciding factor in a lot of cases?
I would, yes.
Do you ever feel a pressure to be perfect academically because you are entering a healthcare field?
Yes. I feel like grades are so important to stay in the nursing program, first of all, but also the thought of dealing with human lives. You want to make sure you're perfect at what you're doing when others are at stake.
Definitely.
How important would you say GPA is to your future in medicine?
I would say it's very important. I feel like a lot of schools, that's probably the first thing they look at is your GPA. So it's very important that you have that statistic at the par. I don't know, at par with other people. Basically,
Yeah.
It has to be good. So.
Do you think that students would take more academic risks without the pressure to beat each other?
Oh, yeah. I definitely, yes. I feel like there's a lot of pressure to be at the top all the time, and I feel like if that wasn't the case, I feel like people would want to ask more questions maybe they're unsure about.
Do you feel like academic and school stress tends to follow you outside of the classroom?
I'd say yes, just because you balance a lot of your internships with a lot of the class assignments, especially in the SM program. It's a lot of group projects, so that's a lot of outside of class work.
Do you feel your grades reflect how much you actually understand the material?
I wouldn't say so. I feel like a lot of times I actually do really understand the material, but a lot of times I am a nervous test taker, so I wouldn't say my grades necessarily reflect everything that I do know.
Clearly, students at the University of Michigan experience very high stress levels, but this does not just end at the Ann Arbor city lines. Across the nation, there are alarming statistics to support that student stress is connected to academic pressures. 90% of college students report high stress levels, 80% feel overwhelmed by responsibilities, 45% are reported to worry about grades daily, and an alarming 60% of college students face mental health challenges as a result of this stress. Many professors and educators actually prefer pass-fail grading systems, as traditional grading systems do not accurately reflect content mastery. Furthermore, when implementing these pass-fail grading systems, there has been research that tied this change to a reduce in stress levels among students. Through advocating our points of view to our educators, peers, and policymakers, we can all work towards a more equitable and safe academic environment. Change will not occur overnight, and it is important to remember that it is okay to ask for help. The University of Michigan offers various mental health resources, and always remember to reach out if you need it.